The BBC has uncovered how a culture of complicity and denial conceals the true scale of clerical sex abuse in Italy. Despite having the most priests of any country and the seat of the Catholic Church on its doorstep, Italy has not documented the crime. Calls are growing for it to follow France, which last year found over 200,000 cases there since the 1950s. Let's talk now to our Rome correspondent, Mark Lowen. Mark, hello to you. Tell us more about what's been found.
Anita, thank you very much indeed, and hello from we're just right by the border actually between Italy and the Vatican, and that proximity is, I suppose, one of the reasons really why there has been this kind of culture of silence to some extent over the issue of clerical sex abuse in Italy. Italy is the country with the world's highest number of priests. It of course has the Vatican on its doorstep, and yet it has not followed many other countries in tackling and confronting the issue of clerical sex abuse. We have investigated this issue and we have found that a combination of legal loopholes, constitutional issues and this kind of culture of deference have contributed to the fact that Italy has hidden its sins.
In the shadow of the Vatican are dark secrets that Italy itself has buried. Clerical sex abuse of minors thought to be extensive but undocumented. With the most priests of any country and the seat of the Catholic Church in the heart of its capital, Italy is failing to confront its sins. Countless survivors have kept silent, but one, who we'll call Mario, agreed to talk for the first time. He says he was abused for 16 years from the age of 8 by his local priest Gianni Becchiaris, who was accused of repeated, premeditated rape.
When I was very young, this abuse happened to me in the vestry of the church. He told me it was a secret between him, me, and Jesus. But it was fully fledged sexual slavery.
When Mario sought justice, Bishop Ambrogio Spreafico began a canon law or church trial by the Vatican's Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith. We've obtained the verdict, and while Becchiaris disputed some details, he confessed the abuse took place. The trial recognised his guilt. He even paid Mario €112,000 as a sort of damages. But he was not defrocked as Mario requested, instead banned from working with minors for life.
When Mario's case came to the Italian courts, a time limit for trials or statute of limitations meant that Becchiaris was never convicted. It all shows the legal quagmire that has failed survivors. There are probably hundreds of thousands here, based on what countries that have investigated abuse have found. The Vatican still has a hold over some parts of Italy, perpetuating the culture of silence here. Siamo dalla BBC.
We tracked down Gianni Becchiaris, Mario's abuser, and asked him is it appropriate that he's still a practicing priest.
There are the documents of a trial that reached its conclusions. I urge you to read them.
I showed him the judgment we had and public photos of him celebrating Mass with minors present.
Those are people in general, not specifically minors.
Then I asked directly, is he a paedophile?
This is what you are saying. Thanks for your work.
That's what your victim says, I add. In our search for the truth, we went up a level to the bishop. Why, I asked, hadn't he defrocked Gianni Becchiaris?
The victim was listened to. All the material was sent to the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, and it's they who issued the sentence. It wasn't the diocese.
But being aware of his guilt, wasn't it immoral not to have advised the Vatican to dismiss him?
A defendant's guilt can be based on different facts. They could turn out to be of a different scale, a different time frame, a different reality.
Legal technicalities and interpretations of verdicts have taken the place of accountability as survivors wait for Italy to look deep inside its soul and atone.
One heartbreaking case there that really reflects and illustrates the wider problem. Now, I referred to a constitutional issue. That is a pact that was signed by the then dictator of Italy in 1929, Mussolini, called the Lateran Pact, that allows the Vatican legal autonomy from Italy, which therefore allows the clergy to have legal recourse to Vatican law over that of Italy, in effect shielding them from the law of the secular state of Italy. And that is one of the issues that some of the groups are fighting to try to change, and one of them is with us today, Adele Orioli from the Union of Atheists and Agnostic Rationalists. Very nice to see you, Adele. In your view, it's not just the Lateran Pact that needs to be revised, it's something else as well.
Well, what Mussolini began, Bettino Craxi finished in 1984, so it's not so far away that we have to look for. I think the problem in Italy is two kinds of different issues. The first one is hard to admit, but it's about mentality. We have the culture of the silence, omertà. We have also the stigma against the victims of rapes or abuses. Every woman, every Italian woman knows perfectly what I'm talking about. And also we have the idea that priests and bishops are more equal than the others, are holy, are sainted, are untouchables. And that is mentality issues. But we have also law issues, and it's very recent issues, because the new Concordat that our Supreme Court states is an international treaty, but a very particular kind of international treaty is very recent, 1984.
And that is a treaty that would mean that priests and bishops who are going to be investigated need to be forewarned by the police. So you think that needs to be revised? Yes,
that needs to be erased, because also our Supreme Constitutional Chart says, Article number 3, that we are all equal. It's impossible there is someone more equal than the other.
You talk about the need to change mentalities here, but also to change the constitution, to reopen even things like the Lateran Pact. And we're talking something that is almost 100 years old here. Is that realistic? What practical steps can Italy do which are less huge, if you like, than suddenly reopening its constitution and its agreement with the Vatican?
Well, we have to say that the most of lawyers said Vatican pacts are not more protected by the constitution. So we can change the new Concordat of 1984 without changing the constitution. That's the first pact. And then we have really to support the ships and not the abusive shepherd.
And very briefly, Adele, what sort of response are you getting from the Vatican? What response have you got from your dealings with the Vatican and with Italy over trying to reform this?
None. Italy is the only country at the moment that is full of scandal, but is under the cover, under the carpet, you know. And no answer, no commission, no study from the Vatican. But to tell the truth, I don't need anything from the Vatican. I need something from my government, because I'm taxed. Okay. So.
Adele Orioli, thank you very much indeed, from the Union of Atheist and Agnostic Rationalists. So still some way to go on this issue. And I must say that if you want to watch more on our investigation, you can tune in to Italy's Hidden Sins on Our World. If you're watching in the UK, that's on the BBC News channel on Saturday and Sunday at 9:30 p.m. If you're watching around the world, it's on BBC World News from this Friday, and you can consult the timings online. Back to you in London.